Some warnings don't come as loud alarms. They come as a quiet pressure in your chest, a subtle dread that whispers, "Don't go." When my mom texted me asking if I wanted to come over for lunch, I stared at my phone for a long time. Nothing about the message was suspicious. No urgency, no guilt tripping, just a casual invitation, like the hundreds she'd sent before. And yet, something felt off. I was pregnant, tired, emotional, vulnerable. My husband, Ethan, noticed the way my shoulders tensed as I read the message. "You don't have to go," he said gently. I told myself I was being paranoid, that therapy had taught me not to assume the worst, that maybe, just maybe, this was my mother trying to reconnect in a normal, healthy way. So I went. That decision would cost me my last illusion about my family. The house smelled the same as it always had, lemon cleaner and overcooked vegetables, familiar, almost comforting. Until I stepped into the dining room. My sister Emily sat at the table. I hadn't spoken to her in 6 years. Across from her sat Ryan, my ex, the man my family had spent years trying to shove back into my life like an arranged destiny I had rejected. Time froze. No one spoke. No one moved. In that silence, I understood everything.
This wasn't a lunch. It was an intervention. I turned around and headed straight for the door. Before I could reach it, Emily's husband calmly placed himself in my path. He didn't touch me. He didn't raise his voice. He just smiled and said, "Sit down. It's better for you." Something inside me went cold. I sat. Emily clasped her hands together like she was about to deliver good news. Her voice was sweet, practiced. She said they'd heard I was pregnant. She said they were concerned. She said they believed I was making a mistake. Then she said something so unhinged, so disconnected from reality, that I actually laughed, sharp, breathless laughter that came from disbelief rather than humor. She explained that once my baby was born, my husband should sign away his parental rights to Ryan. I stared at her, waiting for the punchline. There wasn't one. My mother nodded along, eyes glassy with certainty. Ryan looked uncomfortable, but not enough to leave. Before I could speak, Emily pulled out a folded letter. She read it aloud. A manifesto disguised as concern, a dramatic retelling of my life rewritten to fit her fantasy. Ryan was my true match. My husband was a temporary distraction. My independence was framed as rebellion. My pregnancy was framed as confusion. And I, according to her, had destroyed our family. That's when the front door slammed open. My brother Daniel stormed in like a force of nature. He took one look at me, pale, shaking, pregnant, and then at them. His face changed. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He grabbed my bag, wrapped an arm around my shoulders, and said, "We're leaving. Now." Then he turned back to them. "I am disgusted by you, every single one of you." Outside, I collapsed into sobs so violent I could barely breathe. Daniel sat with me in his car, rubbing my back, apologizing over and over for not stopping this sooner. When Ethan and my dad arrived, I couldn't even look at my mother. That night, I emailed everyone except my mom. One message, one boundary. Do not contact me again. Any attempt will involve the police. And for the first time in my life, I meant it. Ryan wasn't just my ex. He was my brother's best friend. We started dating when I was 16. At first, it was sweet, harmless, teenage love. But by the time I turned 18, my family had already written my future for me. When Ryan proposed the week I graduated high school, everyone expected tears of joy. Instead, I said no. That single word changed everything. My parents begged me to reconsider. Emily took it personally, as if my refusal was an insult to her judgment. When she started dating Ryan's brother, it became unbearable. Ryan was everywhere. Holidays, vacations, even events I didn't attend. Emily engineered coincidences, shared hotel rooms, forced seating, endless commentary about fate. I tried to tolerate it until it crossed into coercion.
When I met Ethan during a semester abroad, it felt like breathing after years underwater. Real love, calm, respect.
Emily hated him immediately. At Emily's wedding, she pushed me to spend all my time with the bridal party, which included Ryan. She seated Ethan with another woman. At the reception, that woman flirted with my fiancé. When confronted, Emily shrugged and said, "You're not married. It's okay to explore." That night, I walked out. The next morning, I told my parents and brother. I was done. 6 years of silence followed. When I got pregnant, something snapped. Emily and my mother spiraled. They called friends, spread rumors, claimed Ethan was controlling me. My mother threatened grandparents' rights and even custody. Then they showed up at my house, uninvited. The stress sent my blood pressure soaring. My doctor warned me that continuing like this could harm my baby. That was the moment my father finally woke up. He packed a bag, moved out, filed for divorce. Emily and my mother lost control completely. My daughter was born healthy and perfect. While my family imploded, Ethan became the father I always knew he'd be. Gentle, protective, steady. Ryan, now referred to as Bates by friends, started telling people the baby was his. He sent letters, 12 pages, single-spaced. I never read them. His employer did investigate him and fired him. My parents are divorced. My father is free and finally happy. My brother's family is close, loving, safe. Emily and my mother refuse therapy. They insist they're right. They are no longer part of our lives. I still mourn the mother I thought I had. I still cry over milestones she won't see. But my child is safe. My home is peaceful. And for the first time in my life, family gatherings don't feel like emotional warfare. I chose my daughter. I chose my husband. I chose myself. And I would do it again, without hesitation.